Hello, guys. This is your girl, Black and Indigenous American. Happy Wednesday. Coming to you once again live, munching on some trail mix. Okay. So, I'm excited. I'm in the middle of reading a new book that I just got. I love my Kindle. Yes, I've had it a while. It's not the most popular, latest version of my Kindle, but anyway, I love it because I can go on Amazon and I can purchase whatever that's Kindle friendly, and within seconds I can start reading. And that's what I love about digital books. So anyway, the two books that I just purchased are Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self, an Oran book by Sanaya Roman. Okay. Sanaya, and then Roman, like the Roman Empire. The second book that I purchased is called, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Had to turn on my Wi-Fi, so sorry about that. It's in the middle of downloading it now. I haven't started reading it. So it's called Behold a Pale Horse by Milton William Cooper. Okay. So I was listening to a YouTuber and this book was mentioned. And I said, you know what? Let me get the book and read it. So now, the book that I'm reading now, Spiritual Growth, I'm a little over half. I'm 52% done with the book. And as far as the table of contents, you have reaching upward. And in that section, being your higher self, creating with light, connecting with the universal mind, linking with the higher will, seeing the bigger picture, receiving revelations, opening awareness of inner planes, moving into higher consciousness. Then the second section, it says open inward, raising your vibration, calming your emotions, allowing your higher good, accelerating your growth, choosing your reality, creating probable futures, going through the void, expanding and contracting time. And then section 3, which is the last section of the book, is called Expanding Outward. So you have becoming a source light, enlightenment through service, lifting the veils of illusion, communicating as your higher self, right use of will, non-attachment, and becoming transparent. So my opinion about this book thus far, I think if I would have read this book a few years back, then I would have had several aha moments. But most of what I've read thus far, I'm aware. The movie The Secret actually unveiled a lot, where a big chunk of this book that I read thus far in a nutshell, is The Secret. So it's almost like a review for me. Now, I did highlight a few things so far that I thought was worth highlighting. So let me go to my notes here. Let's see. Choose the reality you want. Another thing that I highlighted, it says you will have the opportunity to learn more about who you are, your higher purpose, and how to take your work out to the world and grow through service. Empowering others will assist you in going even higher. And just an FYI, this book, it really highlights higher vibrations. Now, I'm aware that people have different paths. And they may be on a destructive path. And that path that they are on is done for the highest good, but in a destructive way. This book does not highlight the destructive path. It highlights the empowerment, higher vibration path. And that's what drew me to this book. So I just want to say that. If you're the type of person who gets bored with Hallmark Channel type movies, this book will probably be the same reaction you would have to a Hallmark movie. I like Hallmark movies, but sometimes they can be a little cheesy, I would say. But this book is good, though. This book is definitely good. But like I said, if I would have read this book a few years ago, I would have had a ton of aha moments. But being that I've already seen The Secret, and I've been really learning so much more about metaphysics and things of that nature, and numerology and stuff like that, a lot of this stuff that I've read thus far hasn't really told me anything that I have yet to stumble across over the past couple of years. But it's a really good book. So for someone who is coming from a background that's very structured and this is the only way type mentality, this book will be less threatening to read. Let's see what else. And it also highlighted self-love as well. A lot of self-love in this book. For instance, what many of you are looking for in another, compassion, understanding, and love, you will find first in your connection to your higher self. So loving yourself and going within and spending time developing your true self. That's where you have the most impact. Instead of worrying about somebody else treating you a certain way or wanting someone else to make you happy. If you do that or you continue to do that, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because if you don't even know your own self, why would you expect someone else to know how to love you the way you want to be loved? right? Mm. Your higher self opens up into level after level of light, into your soul, into your divine self and spirit, and ultimately into knowing that you are a part of the all that is, the presence, God, Goddess. So for me, I was brought up to believe greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. So I was brought up that the spirit of the divine is already in me. However, I was not brought up to believe that I was part of the great divine. It was like I was brought up to believe I was separate from, highest divinity. And now I'm learning that I'm actually part of the bigger picture. And so that took me a while to know that I'm a part of all creation. So I thought that was a good point that I highlighted. This book also helps you learn how to meditate. And one thing about meditation, guys, a big part of meditation is your imagination. And in the type of person I am, if I see or hear something, okay, it's real to me, right? But to sit there and actively imagine something, it took me a while to understand, when you meditate, you're actually imagining. Because when I was meditating initially a couple of years ago or so, I would see things and I would experience things, but I didn't think that was meditation. I was like, well, I guess I was making that up. But part of meditation is imagining, and then it takes off after that. So what I was doing was actually pretty good. But it's okay. When you set the tone, be present by having time to yourself, taking deep breaths. And when you recognize your breath or how something feels up against your skin, then you are present. You're not thinking about what's going on in the future, in the past, whatever, but when you're present, that's part of meditation. Another thing is imagining, focusing on good things. Whatever it is, or if something that you read that resonates with you and it brings you into a very calm, peaceful place, then you need to focus on that. I mean, some of the meditation sessions I've had, I was near a water source, and even on the meditation audio had the sound of running water, but I literally imagined that I was next to water. Archangel Michael was there with me. Yeshua was there with me. And all of the distractions and obstacles and those who partook or are partaking in that were on this paper boat. And they were floating down the water. I guess it was a waterfall or what have you. And it was this calm feeling. It's very calm that I was just watching that, just whatever that was, float away. Another thing that I've done that helps me when I'm trying to meditate, be calm, and kind of take my mind off of things that's distracting is I would envision whatever it or they are going down a drain. Not necessarily a toilet, but just the drain in the shower. And whoever or whatever that was, every time, no lie, every time I envision whoever or whatever that is just going down the drain. And it is almost, I just feel lighter because whatever that or who or whatever that was doesn't exist anymore. That was an illusion. One thing about meditation as well, you're creating your reality in the future. So whatever you dwell on, it will eventually come into fruition. So if you're focusing on what you expect in your future as if it's already, right? Then that's how you will create your reality. So yeah, this book, it has some really good stuff. And like I said, for people who are coming from a very structured religious background, this reading is less threatening. It's easy to read, and I suggest it. I'm just looking through some of my highlights. When you work with energy, it may feel as if you are making it up. You can create real results by imagining you are working with the energy of what you want to create. So when you go to these energy workers like Reiki and stuff, which I have yet to partake in, but I've read up on it. When they do energy work like that, they actually envision whatever it is that whatever needs to be removed is being removed. Maybe they'll think of a white light over you or something, and they believe that whatever it is going to be resolved. It's about belief in whatever you imagine that will come to pass and to trust it. And one thing about this book, it highlights quite a bit that if you want to increase your spiritual growth, as far as rapidly increase it, serve others. Serve others. Love others. Empower others. And that will increase, or at least speed up the process of whatever you're trying to manifest. And when you're meditating, according to this book, a suggestion is imagine yourself in a bubble. Whatever color that brings you joy. Maybe it's white, maybe it's yellow, maybe it's gold with sparkly material in it. I like purple, so I think of purple. So imagine yourself surrounded by this light with whatever color that brings you happiness. In my case, purple. So you're surrounded by this purple light. And you are envisioning this light above your head, almost shaped like a triangle. And the higher it goes, the thinner the light gets. And that light is coming from your higher self. So you're imagining it. And when you unlock that imagination, it becomes a reality. This is one reason why a lot of people don't want kids, or even grown folks, don't want to watch horror movies and stuff like that. Because what you're doing is you're unlocking your imagination and you're about to create that monster under the bed. Or that clown in the closet or whatever. And guess what? It probably is there because you believe it, and whatever you imagine and you believe it, it actually becomes a reality. So you got to be careful what you think. You have to be careful what you put in your mind and you dwell on. Another thing too that I highlighted, you need to receive revelation at a pace that is comfortable for you. For if your higher self in the universe reveals information too soon or too fast, it may cause confusion or require you to change your existing belief systems in too drastic a way to make sense of it. Trust that you are receiving as much understanding of the greater reality as you can handle right now. Now that resonated with me because sometimes when you're excited about something and you just want to jump in feet first, in my case, I'm thinking, oh, so many years in the past and I'm just learning this stuff. So I'm going to try to learn as much as I can. Well, sometimes it's too much information. And if you're not spiritually protected, you can open up a realm that you're not ready for. Because I remember I was I was listening to a meditation video, whatever, right here on YouTube. And it was meet your spiritual guides or something. So I decided I was going to go ahead and meditate and kind of follow along with the suggested meditation because they walk you through what to think about and all that. And once I kind of got towards the end of the meditation, something told me, and this is probably one of my gifts because, sometimes I hear things or a thought will pop up in my head that's not my thought. And something told me, you really don't want to meet your spiritual guides or your spiritual guide. I said, no, I really don't. I'm not ready for that right now. But something told me, because how sometimes when you want something to happen and it doesn't happen, You get kind of frustrated, like, well, why is it not working for me and work for other people? Because you're not ready for it yet. And you already know, I'm talking to myself, you already know you don't want to see nothing floating in the ceiling and all that. You already put that out there years ago. You want messages to come to you through your dreams. You don't want to hear nothing. You don't want to see nothing. And so your spiritual team, out of respect for you, they know that you weren't ready to see anything. So you get messages to your dream. So of course you're not going to see a spiritual guide because you don't want to see a spiritual guide. I'm like, you know what? I don't. I did go through a meditation to meet my higher self. And I was listening to the video, audio, following along with, the suggestions. And then towards the end, I did see what I thought was my higher self. And it was a female. And she was dressed in blue and gold. She had her hair almost like what you would think Cleopatra or somebody would wear their hair with the braids. And she looked at me with a straight face. And her eyes had the eye makeup or something on it. And when she looked at me, I was like, And I think that was at the end of the video meditation or whatever. But I was like, okay, maybe I did see it. Maybe that wasn't my imagination. Maybe. Just maybe. But when she looked at me, it was like she looked through my soul and knew that I wasn't ready. And I was like, She wasn't scary. Not threatening at all. But it was like I was looking at myself in an authoritative position. But the look that she gave me, it was almost like telepathically, right? You're not ready. And I was like, all right, I'm done with this whole trying to meet my spiritual guide and all that, because I know they're with me. I know they're around me. But I'm just not, at this point, I'm not trying to see with my physical eye, nothing floating around in the room or anything like that. I mean, I sometimes I do hear a voice or whatever, but I've turned it off. I've tuned it out. So if I do get messages, it is through my dreams. I prefer that, actually. But yeah, meditation, you have to be aware and mindful that whatever's going on in your mind will eventually, if you believe it and you feel it and all that, it will eventually manifest. So if you scared, and I know I'm saying it kind of silly when I say scared. I say scared. You don't want to go any further. You got to get that fear out of you. You really do. Because what you're going to do is you're going to attract some stuff that's going to make you scared. And why do that? Just let that stay over there, whatever that is. Hi, sweets. Thanks for chiming in. I'm sitting here reviewing a book that I'm halfway through. I'll give my full opinion or review about it in probably another video. But this is just the little things that I picked up so far reading this book. And once again, I said that this book is great for people who are kind of new to metaphysical belief systems, and they come from a very conservative faith background, that there's only one way and all of that. This type of book is very, I would say, gentle. And I said this before, as far as an analogy, it kind of reminds me of a Hallmark movie. If you watch the Hallmark Channel, very cheesy, cookie cutter, but it's a good book. It's a good book. And like I said before, I've seen The Secret before, among other things. And so a lot of this book that I've read thus far, it's like a review for me. But this is definitely a great intro book for someone who wants to learn how to use law of attraction. Now, this author never said universal laws, law of attraction, anything like that. But if you are familiar with law of attraction, or you're familiar with the movie Secret, and you read thus far what I've read, then it's exactly what it is. Whatever you focus on, you attract more of that into your life. If you focus on people getting on your nerves all the time, then you're going to attract more people getting on your nerves all the time. So, yeah, sweet. So far, this book is good. Like I said, it's a great introduction to meditation and being of service to people. That speeds up your spiritual evolution by being of service. I'm thinking of Yeshua right now. Well, Yeshua washed his disciples' feet. He was serving them, right? They thought, oh, you shouldn't be serving us. We're not worthy or whatever. But he was teaching. He was teaching them how to be of service, regardless. Serve people. Then you have to go and be alone. The story of Yeshua that they've allowed us to learn about, once he was an adult, for the most part. We don't know what happened between the New Testament as far as him being an adult and him being a little boy when he was born and all that. A lot of that information is, for whatever reason, not taught as much as the other aspects of his life. But whatever. Based on what we have been told, Yeshua, he fasted, he meditated, he spent a lot of time by himself. He dealt with low vibrational energy. He died. He rose again. And there's deeper meaning underneath all of that, as far as decoding and everything like that. But at this point in my journey, I'm not in a position to dissect all of that. But based on what we've been told about Yeshua, some people also call him Jesus, Emmanuel. But for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about Jesus. He served. He helped people. And serving people, it enhances your vibration. This book talks about that. We need to get out of our own way. Another thing I highlighted, some revelations challenge you to open to new views of reality and see your life in different ways. To receive more insight, start by becoming as flexible and open to fresh ideas as possible. This one is a doozy, because if you've been conditioned most of your life to think a certain way and believe a certain way, and then there's so many other platforms that will teach you what you need to be taught, and you block it out because it's not within that box that you were trained to only be in, then many of those answers to the prayers and the petitions and stuff that you put up may be idle. I was thinking about, it was somewhat of a joke. It was somewhat of a joke, but someone apparently was praying to be rescued because the house was flooding or something like that, and they were on top of the roof, and they was waiting for somebody, or they were waiting for God or whatever. Firemen came, a regular person came with a boat, like a helicopter, everything. And then the person died. Then the person asked God, "Why didn't you save me?" And God said, "Well, I brought the firemen, I brought your neighbor, I brought the helicopter, but you chose not to take the help. So I gave you plenty of opportunities to take the help, but you didn't take it. So you weren't paying attention." You can't put, and in so many words, you can't put the great, highest divinity in a box. That's just impossible. And have a way that high vibrational energy that we call creator, and some other names, whatever we need, we have to be open to receiving it in a way that we wouldn't even expect it to come to us for our highest good. Now, low vibrational energy, quick, fast, quick, people get what they want almost overnight because they're working with low energy or low vibes or whatever. I gravitate to high vibration. So when you're dealing with high vibration, it takes a little bit more time. It takes a little bit more patience. But if you're one of those people who don't want to wait and you want to go another route that's a destructive route, then whatever you need may come to you based on somebody else's misfortune. Let's say you wanted $1,000 and you didn't care how it came to you, right? You didn't care. You just wanted $1,000. Well, what if your $1,000 came because you got in an accident and somebody died in the accident, which was not your fault? Maybe they ran the red light or whatever. And not only did you get $1,000, you got more than that, but you got a broken spine and you land up in the hospital and you paralyzed the rest of your life. But you got your $1,000. And a lot of the ways that you got your $1,000 was very destructive. Somebody died, you know. I'm sure traffic was backed up for hours. So if you go the low vibrational route versus the high vibrational route, that's the high is good for everybody, uplifting everybody, encouraging everybody, then unfortunately it's very destructive. And there's a place for destruction. I'm not sitting here saying everything needs to be kumbaya, because that's not balance. There must be destruction and peace. So, but for me personally, in this lifetime at least, because I do believe in that we've been around for, some people are old souls, they've been around for a minute, different lifetimes or whatever like that. But in this lifetime, my goal is to get that balance in life, and my goal is to raise my vibration. I don't want to deal with low vibrational energy or get what I want based on destructive measures. A lot of people do, but I prefer not to. Now, Sweet, you asked the name of the book. It's called Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self. Being Your Higher Self. That's the name of the book. It's an Orin book, that's Orin, an Orin book by Sanaya Roman. That's Sanaya Roman, like the Roman Empire. So that's the book that I'm in the middle of reading right now. I'm not necessarily finished with this book, but I'm just kind of reading to you guys a couple of passages, some things I highlighted thus far that I thought was, very informative. Then the next book that I have yet to read, but I just got it. It was recommended. It's called Behold a Pale Horse by Milton William Cooper. Very controversial book. This guy was a Christian. I said was because he's no longer in the physical realm. He has moved on in another realm. But while he was here in the physical, he stirred up a few things. And this book was recommended one of the YouTubers I was watching. And so I decided to go ahead and get it. So as far as the contents or the table contents, we have Illuminati's Declaration of War on the People of America, Security, Historical Introduction, Political Introduction, Energy, Descriptive Instruction of the Silent Weapon, Theoretical Introduction, General Energy Concepts, Mr. Rothschild Energy Discovery, Apparent Capital as Paper Inductor, and it goes on and on and on. I think this is really going to be a long book because this table of contents goes on and on and on and on to the break of dawn, okay? So anyway, both books came off of Amazon. Later, Sweet, I'm going to add the link in the description box where I got this book, but it is on Amazon. If you don't want to wait, that's fine. You can go on Amazon and you can type in Behold a Pale Horse. That's P-A-L-E. Behold a Pale Horse by Milton William Cooper. Okay. This book while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna look it up. Let's see. I think that's the one I got. Yeah, so I got it on Kindle, of course, because it was more convenient for me. It cost about $9.99, so $10. Paperback is about $16.14. But yeah, out of 1,062 reviews, this book got 4.5 stars out of 5 stars. So I'm just going to read a little bit. If you don't want to read it, I'll read it for you. The paragraph here about this book. It says, Bill Cooper, former United States Naval Intelligence Briefing Team member, reveals information that remains hidden from the public eye. This information has been kept in top secret government files since the 1940s. His audiences hear the truth unfold as he writes about the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the war on drugs, the secret government, and UFOs. Bill is a lucid, rational, and powerful speaker whose intent is to inform and to empower his audience. Standing room only is normal. His presentation of information transcends partisan affiliations as he clearly addresses issues in a way that has a striking impact on listeners of all backgrounds and interests. He has spoken to many groups throughout the United States and has appeared regularly on many radio talk shows and on television. In 1988, Bill decided to talk due to events then taking place worldwide, events that he had seen plans for back in the early 1970s. Bill correctly predicted the lowering of the Iron Curtain, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the invasion of Panama. All Bill's predictions were on record well before the events occurred. Bill is not a psychic. His information comes from top secret documents that he read while with the intelligence briefing team and from over 17 years of research. So what I'm thinking is eventually over X amount of years, that information can be revealed. So that I'm assuming that's why all this information like ancient aliens and all this stuff, a lot of this stuff that a lot of these people who worked for the feds decide to come out and talk about it because now they can talk about it. You're not going to be on a TV show showing your face, talking about something top secret if it's not top secret anymore. So this is old news, apparently. New news for us, but old news for those who've been very much involved in the top secret stuff, right? So anyway, I decided to buy this book. This book apparently is a #1 bestseller in the UFOs category. It came out in 1991. So I'm kind of behind the times, but I went ahead and bought it anyway. Now, the book that I'm reading now, I'll probably be done with this book probably this weekend. Because like I said, I'm like 52% into this book. So it's an easy read. It's an easy read. Yes, Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self is a pretty easy read. And I suggest the book, especially if you're, again, new to, metaphysical ideologies, okay? So those are my not top 2, But those are the two books that I wanted to talk about that I just purchased, and I am looking forward to getting through them and coming back and sharing with you guys what I thought about them. I went to Mom's grocery store the other day and I picked up some Palo Santo sticks. I pretty much ran out of sage, and I usually get sage at a powwow, but I won't be going to a powwow until next week. Yeah, next Saturday and Sunday. Actually, 2 weekends straight. And that's when I'll buy some sage, because I usually don't like buying stuff like that in the store. I like to buy them at powwows. But with this, I don't think I see these at powwows, these sticks. And also, one thing about sage, apparently a lot of people are buying sage, and I think we need to slow down on that. A lot of people are trying to find themselves and all of that great stuff, and sage is one of the popular ways to cleanse your space. So, you know, apparently sage is becoming an item that is sold quite a bit, and some people are concerned that it may be a crop that will be over harvest. Is that what I'm trying to say? But these sticks, you can also use them to cleanse your space. It has a hint of frankincense in it. And according to the back of this label, it says Palo Santo holy stick is a aromatic wood used for thousands of years as a healing incense by shamans and the ancient Incas. Today, Palo Santo continues to be sustainably harvested in the dry forests of Ecuador and Peru. Harvesting occurs only after the tree has died and laid untouched in its natural habitat for several years. This process permits the sacred, medicinal, and mystical properties of the wood to manifest. Palo Santo is gaining global awareness for its healing qualities. Palo Santo has a citrus aroma with underlying hints of frankincense. And as far as directions, it says, light the tip of the stick, let the wood burn for less than a minute, and blow out flame. Palo Santo does not burn completely and may be relit many times. It does have like a somewhat of a sweet scent to it. I do have a couple of more pieces of sage left, so I kind of burn this along with sage, and I burn it when I'm about to take a shower. That, to me, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, I'm cleansing myself, not just my physical body, but my spiritual body. And I know there's different ways to do a spiritual cleanse, whatever like that. But for me, part of my cleansing is every day burning sage. And now these sticks when I take a shower. And I also have this wind chime. And so I'll hit the wind chime, and for whatever reason, the number 3 comes to mind. And I hit the wind chime 3 times. So again, for whatever reason, 3s is just, that makes sense to me. Hitting the chime 3 times, and I hop in the shower. And like I said, the Palo Santo stick is kind of burning and the sage is burning. So this room is full of aroma, cleansing aroma. And so that's what I do when I take my shower. And then I also sage or smudge whatever I've worn. Like I'm wearing my bloodstone. So I'll take the necklace off and I'll smudge it. I'll smudge my earrings, which are bloodstones. Remember, guys, if you've been keeping up with my videos, I got these earrings when I was down in New Orleans back in May. And so I'll take them off and I'll smudge them because they work overtime, okay? And just the other day, I took most of my crystals. I might have mentioned this before. I take some of my crystals and I put them out. I put them outside in the sun. Something just told me to do it. Well, the new moon was actually Friday, but I set the stones out on Saturday, which was the 31st of August. So I don't know if that would give my stones even more strength or more of a charge versus just the sun. But they set out in the sun for like an hour. But again, my bloodstone gets sun all the time. You know, whenever the sun is shining, if I'm wearing it, it gets sun all the time. But I do cleanse them daily. Sweet, what else you say? I use incense all the time. Okay. Oh, they talk about hemp on the news. Yeah, they're talking more about hemp. I'm telling you, it's definitely a cash crop. And if you can get on the bandwagon now, if you're looking at it on a business side of things, invest in hemp. Okay. And like I mentioned before with hemp, I put that in my smoothie and I consume it. I think I tried hemp chapstick before too. I think I have. It's just it's a versatile crop. It really is. So anyway, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Because I was more into the spiritual mindset tonight. Because again, the two books that I purchased, it's talking about metaphysical stuff. When we think of aliens, we think of aliens like ET or whatever. Many people believe that these so-called aliens or extra, whatever you want to call them, that they're actually gods, little g gods. What's another word that I'm thinking of? Let's see. It's another word I'm thinking about. Demigods. According to the dictionary, when you Google the word demigod, the first thing that pops up, it says a being with partial or lesser divine status, such as a minor deity, the offspring of a god, and a mortal or a mortal raised to divine rank. That's what a demigod is. And so, you know, when Ancient Aliens first came out, I'm like, what is this? Everything is an alien? But then over the years, I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, I can kind of understand that being some truth there. But then some people believe the God in the Bible, Adam and Eve and all that, is demigod, not the creator. That is another can of worms. That is another can of worms. The God in the Bible is a demigod. There's the creator, the all in all, and then there's demigods. I'm just learning this stuff, guys. I'm deciphering through what's bogus and what's not. I am using the gift of discernment to just comb through all this stuff. So back to the aliens. Apparently, these so-called aliens are considered demigods. Some also call them demons, fallen angels. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on and on with this ancient God stuff. I mean, ancient aliens. But some of this, the more I look into it, the more some of this stuff is making sense. So yeah, that one book that I'm going to read eventually talks about a lot of that stuff. And again, the author was he announced that he was a Christian, but he also shared knowledge, top secret knowledge. And so I wanted to read the book. And so I'm going to read the book. Whatever doesn't resonate with me, don't push it to the side. What does resonate to me, I'm going to add to my collection. That's how you're going to have to do it. You can have groups spoon feed you whatever agenda they have and spoon feed it to you, or you can request, put in your petition on the highest level to help you discern through what's real and what's counterfeit. And then you sit back and you think, based on your upbringing, what you was told to believe, you sit back and think about that thing and you say, so was I told to believe in something that's counterfeit? Because what I was told to believe, there's almost an identical story that predates what I was told to believe in. So then you have to go through all of that. I believe there is a such thing as a Bigfoot suite. I do. Bigfoot does not want to be bothered. Bigfoot does not want to be seen. Because I think if Bigfoot wanted to be seen, we would have saw Bigfoot a long time ago. A long time ago. I'm getting off topic right now with Bigfoot because I'm thinking of something that I might have shared in a video. Maybe I have not, but I'm going to share it in this one. Myself and my older sister were leaving Virginia to go to North Carolina. So we were leaving our dad's house and going to our mom's house. She was driving. I was on the passenger side. It's dark. The town that I live in has a lighthouse. The town that we were going to does not have a lighthouse. You see where I'm going with this? So anyway, we get halfway down the road and we still see some kind of light shining in the sky. And we were like, wait a minute. As many times as we've driven up and down this road, that lighthouse light does not shine that far. So it was a cloudy night, so we were thinking, well, maybe the light from the lighthouse stretches a little farther because it's cloudy. Maybe that's what it is. No. So anyway, we were going down the road. 10, 15 minutes later, something, an image, some kind of creature comes up to the passenger side of the windshield and stares at me for like 3 or 4 seconds and then disappears. It goes back up in the sky somewhere. Now, I sat there for about 5 minutes, didn't say anything because in my head, I'm thinking, what just happened? 5 minutes later, my sister finally breaks the silence and she says, did you just see what I just saw? I was like, I thought you didn't see that. She was like, I did see that. And we panicked. And it was a church up the street. And so we pulled over into the church parking lot and started repeating the Lord's Prayer. Because that's the first thing we thought about doing for protection. And so I think 2 or 3 minutes later, my sister was like, we need to go. We need to go. Because it was an empty church parking lot. No one was there, you know. It was a country road, country highway, not much traffic. So we were like, okay, let's just go. Let's go to Mama's house. So we finally get to my mom's house. This same light is in the sky, you know, circling or whatever. And then when we finally get up to the house, when we get out the car, whatever that light was, did this thing. And it took off. And we ran to the front door and we were just banging and hollering, trying to get in the house. And my mom was like, what are you banging on the door for? And we was like, open the door. So we finally get in the house and we had to explain to her what happened. She didn't believe us, of course. She probably thought we were high off or something. But no, we were sober. I say all of this because based on my experience, I do believe there are some extra out there. And some of it can be helpful and others can be destructive. And so whenever people think of aliens, they think about Independence Day, you know, the movies and such. And they think, you know, that any kind of alien is out to get us. I don't personally believe that. But I would not be surprised if there are some destructive aliens that's waiting to do whatever. They might be in the middle of the ocean right now, chilling, way down at the bottom of the ocean floor, where the average person can't go down there because we would die. So I'm just saying, anything's possible. And I think if enough people think that there are destructive aliens out there, they will show up because we all believe it, right? But my experience, let me describe what I thought it looked like. And my sister agreed with me. We thought that this creature looked like a gargoyle. If you remember like Batman, some of those movies, how Gotham City had gargoyles everywhere, you know. A lot of churches have gargoyles or, you know, very old European style structures. They have these gargoyles guarding that property. Yeah. To this day, okay, I'm like, I know what I saw. And I was not alone. My sister and I both saw the same thing, sweet. We both saw the same thing. And whenever I go home and I just have this thing, like I prefer not to drive at night because of the things that I've seen over the years. But at the same time, you can't be afraid. You know, you have to, you know, just tough it up or whatever. But you do see strange things at night in remote areas. You definitely do. And when I went out to New Mexico, I heard about the skinwalkers, you know, they shapeshift and everything. I might have seen a shapeshift and didn't know it because I didn't mentally get myself worked up or scared or whatever like that. I drove at night. I drove on a reservation at night, dropping one of our hosts off at the house and driving back to the hotel. I wasn't alone, but at the same time, I heard about the stories. Also in New Mexico, there were tons of UFO sightings. I think Area 54, if I'm not mistaken, is in New Mexico, I think. The point is, call it an alien or not call it an alien, call it Bigfoot or not call it Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it. They have a purpose, whatever they are. They have some kind of purpose. And one thing about gargoyles supposed to be protective. If you want your space to be protected, apparently you could put a gargoyle in your window, some little small little gargoyle or whatever. Some people have them on their porch, you know, big statues and stuff like that. But I know what I saw, and it looked like a freaking gargoyle. And I don't know if that gargoyle was protecting us. Maybe we would have kept going. Maybe we would have gotten a terrible car accident. I don't know. Maybe its job was to stop us, to distract us, so we wouldn't get hurt. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that book that I read, I'm definitely going to dive into it. Hopefully I'll be done with it within a month. Come back and give you guys my opinion about it. Yeah, that's pretty much what all I have to say tonight, guys. I don't have anything else to say. Because when I get on here now, I kind of do this whole long, drawn-out live video. And so I kind of get a lot of my thoughts out in one video versus multiple ones. But anyway, thanks, guys. Whoever's watching, who was watching, who just chimed in. I don't know who you are. Sweet, thanks for interacting. And I hope all is well with you and your loved ones. And be blessed. Be a blessing to others. And until next time, and there will always be a next time.